Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome to the annual video where I sit here awkwardly in a silly hat and silly t-shirt and I try to pretend to be festive. I don't like Christmas. Christmas is expensive and I don't like spending money. But it doesn't have to be expensive. I have 10 Christmas gift ideas today from $5 up to $200 US. There's some great ideas for bits and pieces for beginners who have recently joined this wonderful hobby of ours, plus a few more substantial items for those who are already well down the rabbit hole, and some great watches or watch-related gifts for friends and family. I will leave links to everything in the order that I show it in the description of the video. I'm going to focus on either eBay or Amazon today, so send this to your other half or your generous auntie if you want to direct them to a particular gift that will of course be a total surprise on the day. Now, I'm relatively early this year, but do make sure you can actually get delivery on these items before Christmas, before you order, to avoid tears. And after today's top 10 list, one of you is going to get a really nice Christmas present from themselves. This is my chance to play Santa each year and to say thank you for another great year on the channel. And it has been another great year on the channel. This is the best job I've ever had, and it's all because you watch the videos. So thank you for continuing to watch the videos. Plus, I launched EREBUS this year, which has gone better than I could possibly have hoped for. So again, thank you for all of your support. I have got a 3-piece big brand starter collection to give away. 1 SEIKO, 1 Citizen, 1 CASIO, the perfect start in the hobby. Or you can re-gift them, you can do what you like with them, I don't care, it's my present from me to one of you. But before I show you those and tell you how you can win them, let's get on with the gift list. This list changes every year, but I always finish with the same item and I always start with the same item. At number 1, it's the cheapest gift on the list, it's POLYWATCH. Everyone should have a little tube of POLYWATCH in a drawer somewhere. They're around $5 on eBay or Amazon, and they make your scratched acrylic crystals look brand new again with very little effort. But this isn't just for the vintage aficionados today, though it did a bloody nice job on the lacquer here, as you'll see in just a minute. If you've got a collection of CASIO watches, you can return them to pristine condition within 2 minutes with the aid of a tube of POLYWATCH and a bit of kitchen roll. Grand total, less than $5. It's a perfect stocking filler too, if your stockings are really tiny. Next up, it's the world's best-selling digital watch, shifting over 3 million units each year. It is, of course, the CASIO F91W. Now, this is an ideal starter watch for children or for the smaller wristed. They're cheap to buy, they're accurate, they're reliable, they're durable, they're far more water resistant than CASIO actually claim them to be, and when the battery dies after 3 or 4 years, you can put a new one in the back yourself for 50 cents. Plus, they are available in a range of colours these days. There are oranges and pinks for people who like oranges and pinks. It's a great no-nonsense watch for ladies as well. Mrs. Jonma wore a very similar CASIO for years because it was actually just as much watch as she wanted. Next up, a number of items that I have come to consider essential in my own watch armoury, my own watch arsenal. So I feel I can recommend them wholeheartedly whether you're giving or hope to receive. The first is a loupe, and by that I mean a watchmaker's monocle, a mini telescope for one's eye. Even a cheap loupe will allow you to examine a watch in a way that goes well beyond the naked eye. You can check the quality of the engraving, the polish of the hands, the indices. You can look for dust particles in new watches. You can generally get closer to your watches than even my scariest macro lens can. And as you see here, they don't have to be expensive. $10, $15 will get you a bunch of them, a whole kit with various magnifications. And that's just your starting point on Amazon.com. There are cheaper ones, more expensive ones, if it's an item you feel like investing in. Or if you want to go full watchmaker, you can get a set of loupes that you wear as spectacles. I haven't got myself those yet, but perhaps it would be a good present to myself, especially with some of the really fiddly modifications that I do from time to time. Next is a BERGEON 6767. Now, I know what you're thinking. $30 for a spring bar removal tool? Jody, are you mad? Well, yes I am, but also, no I'm not. Sure, just about every watch you order from AliExpress comes with a spring bar removal tool thrown into the box for free, but they're almost universally rubbish. This is the opposite of that. It's a really good spring bar removal tool. It's small enough to get into the tightest cases, it's long enough to provide plenty of leverage, and it's high quality enough that it won't break the first time you try and use it. Plus, if you do somehow manage to break one, the tips are replaceable. So you're not throwing it away, you are repairing it, which is a rarity in today's world, but it does rather go along with the whole mechanical watch philosophy, doesn't it? Repair, not replace. Now, there are fake ones around though, so make sure you buy from a reputable seller, and if it looks a bit too cheap, there's probably a reason for that. At number 5 is an item that I have had a number of different versions of, but this is the best one that I've used. It's the watch roll that I take on my travels with me. It's by Q, and you can pick them up in any colour you can think of on Amazon for around $80 US. Now, I would not describe that as particularly cheap, but as with the BERGEON, sometimes it's worth paying just a little bit more for a product that just does what it's supposed to do really well. And I've been surprised by this one. I have used more expensive rolls in the past, but this one is really easy because it's got those push poppers and the cushions inside slide in and out of a more rigid structure. It protects the watches nicely, and it's easy to swap them in and out if you are rotating through some pieces on a holiday. As I said, they are all over Amazon. They also sell them directly in a bunch of different colours and a bunch of different sizing options as well. Now, I find 4 watches plenty for a holiday, but you might want to go with 7. And number 6 is an item that I own several of. It's a Wolf watch box. Again, you do not have to spend this much on a watch box. There are $20 eBay specials, but unfortunately, they are pretty much disposable. They are poorly made and they just don't last. These Wolf boxes do cost a bit more, but I think they're worth it because they look a lot better and they last a lot longer. I would recommend you have a look at the WINDSOR range. I've got a couple of these brown and orange ones myself. I like the way they look and the quality is excellent. Now, you can get a more expensive version with a jewellery drawer underneath if you're into bracelets and rings and things like that. Now, at $135 for a 10 slot box, it's costing you $13.50 to store each watch, so you need to do your own equations. But if your watches are expensive enough to justify a nice storage unit, these would be my pick. Moving on to a gift for those well down the rabbit hole, it's a timegrapher. I've had one of these for about 4 years now. I use it regularly and it's still going strong. They are all over eBay for around $140 including delivery. A little bit more on Amazon, about $160 delivered. Now, mine, as you can see, is labelled as a Weishi 1000, but to be honest, I think they're all identical, just with different stickers on them. Now, timegraphers are obviously great for knowing how well your movements are performing, and if necessary, adjusting them to perform better. Now, that's not a particularly straightforward process, and it's not for the ham-fisted, but with a little bit of practice and a bit of trial and error, you can soon get into a habit of adjusting your watches to run as close to 0 as you can get them to run. And I have adjusted various Seikos and Vostoks using mine, as well as the occasional tweak on a Miyota or an ETA. We are definitely moving beyond essential item into luxury item. Nobody really needs a timegrapher unless you're a watchmaker. You can do all of this on an app on your phone, but you can do in 10 minutes with a timegrapher what will take you 10 days to do with the app. Now, coming back down in price slightly, it's another watch, and it's a watch that is on this list every year. Teenage boys, uncles, dads, whatever, it's the G-Shock DW5600. They will love it. Now, it's the 40th anniversary of G-Shock this year, which means that this design is 40 years old. And I think it's held up a lot better than most designs from the early 1980s. You can still pick one of these up for around $50 and you're getting such a strong double branded watch. Not only are you buying a Casio, but you're also buying a G-Shock. These ones are far more wearable than their bigger brethren, and they are as hard as nails. I love these square G-Shocks. This one is not only the cheapest, but also the purest of them all. Next up, it's a cracking gift for Seiko files. You know who you are. And it's a Seiko they can use in conjunction with all of their other Seikos, because it's not a watch, it's an alarm clock. Check these things, they are hilarious. They kind of look a bit like a tuna. In fact, the bezel almost has its own shroud in a manner of speaking, does it not? They come in a number of different colours, including green, blue, black and white, and they're not expensive. Well, perhaps they're expensive for an alarm clock that you probably don't actually need, but they are under 100 Aussie from a variety of different outlets over here. You're probably going to have to do a bit of digging around your own region to find one, but if you can find one, you will make the SEIKO fanboy or fangirl in your life very happy this Christmas. Of that I have no doubt. And finally, I always end this list at number 10 with the same watch or watches each year. If you're buying a gift for a family member or a good friend and you want to look like you spent a lot of money on them, buy them a TISSOT. TISSOT are a very well-known Swiss brand, part of the Swatch Group, and they've been making watches in one form or another since the 1850s. And for $200 or thereabouts, I don't think you can buy a better watch to gift. Swiss made, fantastic packaging, and available in dozens and dozens of different versions for men and for women. Quartz Tissots tend to be the type of watch that one watch people wear for decades. For example, I was back in Scotland last month and both of my uncles, who aren't watch guys, were wearing Tissots. They just hit that sweet spot of brand identity, quality and value for money right on the nose at around $200 US. So there you go, 10 gift ideas whether you are giving or hoping to receive, but one of you will be receiving a gift from me. A 3-piece big brand Japanese watch collection. I'm going to do a mini triple unboxing right now to show you what I'm giving away, but all watches will be as new and I'm sure will make somebody very happy indeed. SEIKO, Citizen, CASIO G-Shock, cracking 3-piece affordable Japanese big brand collection. I'm going to do this as quickly as possible, really, just to show you what's inside the boxes, and I'm going to start with the SEIKO. All of these are brand new. I paid for them with my own hard-earned cash. And one of you is going to win the lot. The SEIKO, what did I choose? Of course, I chose the 5KX. Specifically the SRPD 51K in lovely blue on blue. There we are, SRPD 51K with a caliber 4R36. These are cracking watches. This is the SKX replacement. 4R caliber movement, day rate complication, plenty of lume, and a nice bezel action, always from a SEIKO. Now, it's a decent sized watch at 42mm in diameter, 100 meters of water resistance. If you've got a small wrist, don't be frightened by that because it's got a super short lug to lug. Look at that. Pop that on a leather strap, it'll fit you no problem at all, or just give it to one of your mates. I don't care. Next up, it is a Citizen. I have a lot of love for Citizen these days, given just how good their products are for not a lot of cash. 5-year warranty with this one as well if you live here in Australia. Now, I chose the blue 5KX that you just saw because you can wear that one as a daily. I also gave you a second option as a daily. Pilot's chronograph Eco Drive module also would make a fantastic daily driver. This is a CA7040-85E, as you can see, and it contains a slightly more complex module, B642. Yeah, so you get your chronograph, you get a pilot's watch, you get your black dial watch, you also get something you can rock every single day if you want to. There's lume on the hands and the indices, and Eco Drive, never need a battery, date complication, set and forget, grab and go. Great choice, these watches. And of course, I had to round out the collection with a G-Shock. Everybody needs a beater watch, and there is no better beater watch than a Casio G-Shock. But what did I go for? No shortage of options from the G-Shock range, so I went for one of my personal favourites. I do love the square Gs, but I also love the Casio Oaks, and I went for, on your behalf, a Casio Oak in a nice, hang on, what the actual fuck? Jody, were you drunk when you ordered that one? Yeah, actually, I might have had a few. So, yeah, wow, Jody. All right, a bit of a left field choice there for the beater, but hey, you may as well have a little bit of fun. These watches are certainly a lot of fun. So it's a GA 2110SC-4ADR. These are fantastic. They're the slimmest G-Shock that G-Shock had made up until this point. Ani-Digi, stacked full of features. You get a lume, you get backlight, day of the week indicator, and just a riot to wear, especially in this colour. There you go then, from mild to wild. A lovely little 3-piece combo, a great way to start in the hobby if you are starting in the hobby, or keep one, sell two, I honestly don't care. My present from me to you, enjoy. So, what do you have to do to win that 3-piece collection? Well, not much, and it's always straightforward. First of all, subscribe to the channel. Secondly, like the video. Third, click the top link in the description and head over to erebuswatches.com. And if you'd be so kind, please give me your email address. We are already working on our second and third releases for the first half of next year, and it would be great to keep you all in the loop with the best early bird offers on our new designs. If you've already signed up for our mailing list, don't worry, you can skip that step. And finally, leave a comment on this video. Any comment you like. I will scroll through them and pick a random winner in exactly 1 week's time. I will pick the winning comment, ask the winner to contact me by email, and I'll make sure you have your watches in time for Christmas. Now, don't get scammed. I'm only going to respond to one comment on this entire video, and I will never ask you to Telegram me or WhatsApp me, and I will certainly never ask you for $1. So, if it doesn't sound like me, it's probably not me. It's probably a scammer. Don't get scammed. Well, have a great holiday season when it comes. I hope it's not too expensive for you. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. I'll see you again in the next one where I will not be wearing a Santa hat.